Welcome to the Comedy Defect podcast. This is the Apocalypse edition. Welcome to episode 71. Yes, we made it to 71 episodes before the apocalypse happened. So thank you for tuning in this month because we don't know if we're going to be here next month. This is the second official day of the lockdown. Before we could go to pubs and clubs, but we weren't allowed to go and we had to have social distancing. Now we're not even allowed out of our homes. Technically we are. But I mean, I've got a dog, so I walked those dogs the other day. I went for a run. I went to the shops. Haven't been to a pharmacy yet. Maybe I'll have a headache tomorrow. I'll do, instead of 3 things, 4 things. That's what I'll do. But the lockdown has happened. It's like we had in Italy with the coronavirus. Yeah, I'm sick of these coronavirus jokes about toilet roll. They're not imaginative anymore. Please move on to something else. Make something imaginative about the coronavirus. Do the research and then come up with something, please. Because otherwise it's just like goes in one ear and then bleh, comes out like that. So I hope you're having a good lockdown, doing whatever you're supposed to do. I am getting through all of the food in the cupboards. We had a bag of rice in there for years, a massive bag of rice. I mean, we had that since last year. We had a bag of pasta. That's been there for the last 2 months. We have long life milk, just in case. We have all these things. I was already prepared for the apocalypse. We had toilet roll. It didn't matter. I didn't buy any more. Just had that. I had jam. I've got treacle. Loads of treacle in there for some reason. I've no idea why. Coriander. I've got tons of it. Cumin. If you need cumin, let me know. Message me on thecomedydefect@gmail.com, okay? You can follow this podcast on Twitter @WinterDominus. You can follow my stand-up gig dates, which will probably be in September, on that website too, if you need to follow me. But this is like really, it's like Castaway in Wilson. My microphone now is Wilson, and I'm talking to that, trying to get a response back, and maybe sort of fulfilling my life's ambition to try and connect with another human being or other human beings. I hope you're at home with people, or you have a family, or you have family close by that you can go and see, and you're not isolating yourself too much, because it can get, the walls can start closing in. It starts to feel like a prison. I'm doing press-ups every day. It's not helping me feel like I'm not incarcerated. I got a message as well. You get these messages from people saying, oh, don't worry, we've got a virtual gym now. Oh, that's great. I'm fucking safe. That is wonderful. A virtual gym. I'm just doing exactly the same thing at home. Anything, it makes me feel more alone, because I'm not connecting with anyone. The gym is more of a social thing, even though you don't talk to anyone. Maybe want to talk to 1 or 2 people. But a virtual gym, it just makes you feel like, it just makes you feel sad. I'll say, hope you're having a good apocalypse. Try and stay healthy, stay motivated, get those things done, get those sitcoms written, get the fringe shows done. Get ahead of yourself. Get one for 2021, 2022, 2023. Get them all done. All for the festivals. Do it. Get those, the amazing 20-minute to 30-minute set down. Get it ready. Book a holiday for next year, because you probably won't be able to go there this year. But hey, look, just try to look to the future. Give yourself a light at the end of the tunnel. But maybe this podcast will be your light at the end of the tunnel. This is episode 71 with the very funny magic-based comedy Jason Mannion, or also known as El Baldiniho. This was a great conversation I had with Jason on the 25th of the 5th, 2019. It's been a year coming, and the day we recorded this, it was very, very hot. And Jason came to me and we recorded it in my comedy bunker, which is a shipping container, and it was like a little oven, and Jason was sweating and it was really tough. And it was, in fairness, at moments of this conversation, it was hard to keep going because it was so hot. We were actually roasting. It was so hot in the shipping container, but we got through it. I thank Jason for coming on the show. It was a lot of fun, and he just gotten 4 yeses from Britain's Got Talent, and unfortunately didn't make it to the semis, but he got 4 yeses. That's brilliant. I wish all the luck to Jason, and he's been going well with that momentum from that show. And he's also got a family-friendly show in the Comedy Store in Manchester on the 17th of October, 2020. So go and see him, because I think we'll probably be allowed out by then and the virus will have disappeared, and we'll all be out and go to the shops, go for runs, go to the gym, socialize, talk to people. I don't know, maybe we'll start smoking in public as well again. I don't know what will happen, but that's it. 17th of October, Jason's doing a family-friendly show at the Comedy Store in Manchester, and that is going to be a family-friendly show, as I say, 17th of October in the Comedy Store, Manchester. Go and see him. Very funny, really lovely fella as well. Go check that out. I'm not going to say much more for this intro, so I hope you enjoy this episode. Have a good apocalypse. Stock up. Eat something nice. Be good to yourself. Enjoy this episode. Jason Mannion, A.K.A. the great El Baldiniho. Jason, welcome to the Call Me Defect. I mean, I don't want to use your last name, right? But why do you not use, you talked about this a minute ago, why do you not use your last name?
Well, my full name is Jason Mannion.
Right.
Which sounds very similar to Jason Manford.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
And so I don't really go under my real name, Jason Mannion, because it's not that it confuses people, but it's just too similar to his name, and I'm a comedian, so I avoid using Jason Mannion, and
that's fair.
Instead I go under the name of El Baldiniho.
Oh, Baldiniho, that's it. El Baldiniho.
Baldiniho, yeah.
And
which people get wrong as well.
Yeah, I just got to run it. El Baldiniho.
MCs get it wrong. Newspapers get it wrong. Everyone.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing, because with my last name Phonander as well.
Oh yeah,
I'm ditching it completely now. I'm getting rid of it. I've had enough of Phonander. No one gets it right. I like my first name, Winter.
Yeah.
That's simple. Enough. Yeah. It's enough. I mean, people will look at it, talk to me or talk about me, I'm sure, and go, oh, he's using just the name Winter now. You get like Madonna. It's like, no, just because it makes it simpler.
Yeah.
And it's easy for people to remember. Otherwise, they go Winter Phonander and they've totally forgotten the whole name then. So El Baldiniho, right?
Yeah.
So you've had a really. We booked this before the Britain's Got Talent explosion, which is great. I mean, I don't want to say that I was helped you along there with that bit of luck, but so we booked this before that, and like since then you've got 4 yeses on Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah.
And so how do you feel about that, man? Are you like just still euphoric and over the moon about it, or?
Yes, it's been a experience.
Yeah.
It's been a positive experience. I'd say it's been 90% positive and 10% negative. You know. There's been a few trolls on the internet. The editing of the video, the clip, my audition. They put a few, reactions in there that obviously were a bit odd, really. Mm-hmm. There's been a little bit of a downside, but the upside has been fantastic.
Okay.
But we're comedians,
Yeah.
And you when you play a gig, you don't concentrate on all the people that are clapping. Concentrate on that miserable guy or gal in the third row who's sat there with a face like thunder with their arms crossed, aren't they? So
always the way. Always, that's it. I mean, you don't know that person isn't enjoying themselves. They just aren't aware of their face. 90% was great. Got the odd trolls, but hey, that's just jealousy anyway, isn't it?
Yes, it could be. I think it's just part of the modern age, isn't it?
Yeah, right.
You get people they're usually anonymous people, and then you get voices from the past. A few of those have come up,
Yeah, crawling out the woodwork.
Yeah, crawling out the woodwork, and I mean, nothing's been malicious, but it's like, hang on a minute, I thought you'd disappeared into the horizon, but you're not. You're back in my life, and
Yeah, it's like an ex-girlfriend sort of thing, nearly coming through. Going, oh, hey, how's it going? Yeah. So could you tell me how to do that? I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
You didn't talk to me before that, but now it's just making it plain and obvious why you were talking to me now, right?
Yeah. I
that's
suppose so.
interesting.
Yeah. It is, interesting. Yeah, but yeah, on the 90% positive side, I mean, I got to play the Palladium in front of 2,500 people.
Yeah.
I saw Bruce Forsyth is actually interned under the Palladium stage.
Right.
His ashes are, yeah.
You can actually see them. Can you see them, or like it's not?
Well, I saw a
right?
plaque. I think they're buried under the stage or something.
Wow.
So I saw a plaque.
Yeah. So you literally danced on Bruce Forsyth's.
On his grave, yeah. No, but it was nice to see him there. Yeah. To see him nice.
Of course.
And I got to meet Anton Deck. Yeah. I had a great interview with Stephen Mulhern. Oh yeah, so part of the downside, I didn't get onto the main show, but I got onto Britain's Got More Talent. But because of that, I had a good 8-10 minute screen time.
Great.
Which you don't get on the main show. Yeah, it was, to be honest, it was a bizarre feeling when you walk out onto the stage and there's David Williams, Simon Cowell, and Amanda and Alicia. It's just a bizarre, Anton Deck, wish you well, and you walk out there and suddenly it's your audition. And to be honest, I was feeling so ill. I was recovering from a bout of the flu.
Oh, right.
At that time, precisely around that time, and I honestly had to drag myself off the sofa to attend that gig, But
wow. You don't have too much energy to feel the nerves,
It could be, yeah.
Because that would be like a very stressful situation where I go, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to get it over with, sort of thing. You're totally relaxed then, huh?
But it's that Dr. Showbiz element, you know. Those, you know, I'd never before experienced it like that to that level, but it certainly worked that day.
Shot of adrenaline. Woo! Here we go.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, but I find out tonight of the recording. I don't know if you can mention the date today.
Yeah, sure. 25th of the 5th.
25th of the 5th. Right. Well, it's announced today about who goes into the live semi-finals.
Oh wow.
So I'm under embargo to mention anything until it's broadcast. So tonight people find out whether they're in the live semi-finals. So.
And when are the semi-finals actually taking place?
I think they're starting next week.
Okay.
So yeah,
so a week from now, so it's 3rd, I guess, it's
something like that,
3rd of June. So how long have you been doing comedy then, Jason?
Well, I started off intentionally doing comedy, i.e. standing on a stage and doing it. So I was studying at university in Manchester, and I was about 24. I'm 49 now. I was 24 at the time. Someone told me about the Frog and Bucket. Have you played the Frog and Bucket?
Yeah, I played both. Yeah, but
have you played the old one as well?
I played the Preston one and the one in Manchester.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Well, the one in Manchester used to be in a different place round the corner. Yeah, and so I used to go there on a Monday night, and Mrs. Merton, Caroline Ahern, she was always there. She was going out with Peter Hook at the time from New Order. There's a few faces. Tony Burgess was to play there. Smug Roberts.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know these guys.
Yeah.
So I was going to university at the time, and attending the open mic nights because that was always the most fun. One day I decided to get up on the stage because, to be honest, when I was at school, I suppose I was the class clown and sort of conversationally funny. And then you realise how different a skill that is.
For sure, man. Yeah. What were you doing in college?
Oh, I trained as a youth worker. I'm a youth worker by trade.
Right.
Working
Okay.
with young people, difficult. Difficult young people, young offenders, and that sort of thing.
I guess it's handy to break the ice as well if you're funny in life. I mean, you can just kind of go, oh, that's all right. You can ease the tension of some moments, or you just kind of have to sit there very stone faced.
Or I was coming to some use during my professional life, but to be honest though, no one wants to work with a comedian, a clown, and when there's some big serious matters, working with young people, in my mind, I'm cracking jokes about things and it's not.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not designed for this.
I'm not designed for it. No.
It's going to come out. It's going to fester or come out sometime when it's not appropriate.
Yeah,
that's right. I know that's so you. But you actually you worked as a youth worker for a while.
Yeah, till 2006. I worked as a youth worker for a local authority
in Kent.
Kent, yeah, that's why I moved to. I live in Kent now. So.
Right, okay.
But say back to the university, yeah, and I just put my name down one night and got up on the open mic night and completely died on my arse, and it was a huge shock because you think to yourself, well, I was the class clown, I'm conversationally funny, make people laugh, but you get on stage, man, God, I was awful.
Yeah.
I was really awful.
What did you do? What was the stuff you kind of did? Was it stories or conversations or?
Well, this is a confession. This was 1994, and I grew up in working class Warrington. I grew up listening to Bernard Manning. The end of the comedians and the comedy. All then, even Eddie Murphy to some respect. It was all about punching down. So all of my material, I read back on it now, it was all punching down. It was, I got up again. That would have been 22 years later.
Wow.
Because that had such an effect on my confidence.
Yeah.
That the next time I stood on the stage.
That's a tough one.
It was 22 years later, yeah. Whatever.
Did you do the classic though of inviting your friends and your family to the gig or anything like that?
The first one I did.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! I've done that with the Comedy Store Gong Show.
Oh no!
That was like years ago, and I was like, I said to my brother, my dad, and my dad's girlfriend, and I was like, yeah, come to the Comedy Store. I was like, come to the Comedy Store. And I was done like 30 gigs, but I was dressed in my suit jacket. I was really into Bill Hicks at the time. And I was like suit jacketed up and and then and died. I did 17 seconds and they got me off right. But I was terrible. One thing I did learn from that night was never invite your parents to your your first 100 gigs or more. Depends on, you all got different learning curves. And also the Italian guy, he was up the same night, and good looking guy, tall fella, shaved head, like just really like
Yeah,
he looked
good-looking fella, yeah.
lucky fella. You know, it was like he walks up and he has a swagger about him. Walks up and as soon as he picked up the microphone, they gonged him off.
Oh, did they? Oh, right. So they don't like that.
No,
Yeah.
no. They were like, look at this guy, because he oozed like I'm so confident.
Right.
You know, the guy who was emceeing was John Fothergill.
Oh yeah.
And he said. But before he left the stage, not John Fothergill, but the Italian guy, he got really offended he got annoyed with the audience because like, you guys don't understand, it's because I'm so good looking, isn't it? That's why you gonged me off. You're just jealous. Anyway, he went off. John Fothergill came on and said, "Guys, I think you're a bit harsh with this guy here.
Yeah.
I think we should give him another chance. We should give him another chance." And then so anyway, he walked away, but with the Italian guy walked off, and then walked halfway towards the stage, and then he said, "Oh, come on off." John said, "Come on you come." So he walked onto the stage. He picked up the microphone again. They gonged him off a second time.
Oh wow!
Because to be fair, you got to be gracious, haven't you? You're like, okay, fine.
Absolutely.
It's not my night.
Yeah,
it's not my night. Okay,
yeah.
it's hard to do sometimes. It is hard to do. Okay, so your second gig you did 22 years later.
Something like that. It's a long time.
And where was that? And what was that doing?
Well, in the meantime, I'd been working as a youth worker, and for 20 years or whatever. One of my members of staff, Simon, he was an amateur magician, and he showed me a magic trick, and it had me dumbfounded. So I threatened to sack him if he didn't tell me the secret of how to do it. But anyway, he showed me this trick, and I sort of got into performing magic in the meantime. Around about, I think it was about 2007, I got asked to do some kids' magic at a New Year's Eve do in Canterbury. So I just took a little, it's a thing called a switch bang, you change coloured handkerchiefs, that sort of thing. I just had fun, So from 2007, I first picked up a magic wand, so to speak, and it was a steady journey into becoming El Baldiniho around about 2010. So I've been doing this for about 9 years. So that was the journey really into comedy. But
with you did kids shows, right?
I started off doing them.
It's tough, isn't it? It's tough.
Well, it is tough, and it still is tough. But when I first started doing magic, this is what most magicians do: is you go to the magic shop and you buy a DVD of another magician doing magic, and you copy off that magician, do the trick, do the patter, all the lines.
Yeah.
And that's what I did for 3 years as a kids entertainer. So to be honest, it was like cheating. All I had to do was perform it, so it could have been a lot tougher. But by the time I started to go from doing kids magic into adult clubs, you realise that adults are a lot more savvy than kids, and you couldn't do that material. You couldn't do hack magic stuff. So from that point on, I've been a writer as well as a performer, and that. To be honest, that's been the hardest thing, really.
Yeah.
It's for anyone, really, for any comic. It's being the writer as well as the performer,
I was a clown for a little bit as well.
Oh, was you?
Tiny, didn't even have a name, or I'd have the egg or whatever it was. But I was weekend party clowns sort of stuff,
Wow.
and that was a nightmare. Any of those that you could mention, any horrendous stuff that happened to you while you were, of course, protect the innocent.
Yeah.
Was it they pretty good, well behaved?
No.
Oh,
no.
good.
And they're still not, really. To be honest, if you're playing a comedy club, a kids show, it's different because there's a stage and it's raised and, it's dark and you're the loudest voice in the room. But when you're playing in someone's back garden or, someone's patio or then, the kids come and walk onto the stage and they try and nick things and, the
hecklers.
Hecklers, and some kids they like to pick up the tricks, don't they? And destroy them, eat them. I'm trying to think what's the worst experience I've had with kids. Oh, I nearly had a death. That would have been nearly a death.
That's pretty extreme.
That's pretty extreme.
How was that? What happened there?
What it was is I bought this trick, and it's not a trick actually. It's a cup, and it's got liquid in it, but it's for keeping things cold in the freezer. But it looks like a cup full of juice.
Yeah.
But it's all sealed. I got a kid on the stage, and I went to throw it at her, and she took about 10 steps back. While I'm throwing this, because she thought it was all going to go over her. And the trick is it doesn't go over her.
Yeah.
She took about 10 steps back, and there's like must be a 20-foot drop off the side of the stage.
Oh, Jesus.
So I went running over to her, just caught her in time, by the scruff of the neck, dragged her on. But that would have been that would have been headlines.
It would be worse if you misjudged it and punched her off the stage.
I know, mate.
that was lucky, yeah?
Yeah.
Gotta be careful in it, this is it. Did that magician just punch that girl off the stage? No, he was trying to save her. No, but really, you don't understand. That was it. Oh my God, what a nightmare. What a nightmare.
But I never knew, because it was the first time I performed it, I didn't know that was going to be the response.
Yeah.
Like you go to throw something in someone's face, they run backwards it's like, oh.
That's it, yeah. But just come over this side, come to the side of the stage, right? That's it.
Yeah. So I still do it now, but I point the kid in the different direction and they go backwards towards
no spikes
the back of the stage. No spikes.
That's it. So you live in Kent now.
Yeah.
And been doing comedy for 9 years.
Yeah, about 2010. Yeah. Yeah.
And where was your first comedy magic venue you went to?
I think the first one was one of these open mic nights where they say, roll up. Mm-hmm. We want comedians, poets, magicians, anything. So I went along to one of those.
Do you remember which one it was?
It was in a club called the Orange Street Music Club in Canterbury. Yeah, it's now a comedy venue. It wasn't like I played it, but it was. That was the first time that I did comedy magic on stage in front of adults rather than kids. And
you said that it was kind of hard because they're so savvy about they can't be fooled, and you've got to write your stuff as well.
Well, I basically got up and did some. I did a trick, the needle through the balloon trick.
Okay, yeah.
Where you blow a balloon up and you put a metal needle right through it and take it out again.
Okay.
And no one was impressed.
Oh.
Really, they're like, "Oh yeah, wow, go and do it at some kids' party or something like
And then, so did you have any jokes at that time, or did you anything?
No, as I said, only the ones that I'd got off a DVD. That was my act then, like a sort of hack magic act, doing sort of ready-made shop bought tricks. So that was the first one, and then from then on I started to write. Really, when you realise this isn't going to work, and I even got a promoter saying, "Please don't come back to our club with your shop bought tricks and your ready-made patter."
Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
Do you know, it was tough, but it was the best lesson that I've learned. Really, the best one, and it's the one that's put me in best stead for progression. Really.
Yeah, of course. You got to hit the bottom, then bounce back up again. And
I
remember, I did a tiniest bit of magic, trying to.
Oh yeah.
I had the 5 minutes with a handkerchief. If you know that one, there's a 5 minutes with a handkerchief. Turn the handkerchief into there's a little bit of patter goes with it. It becomes a mouse in the end.
Oh,
and then you just play with it, just play with the mouse, try to move it around and go, the mouse,
Oh,
and
nice one.
You just wind it up, and it's some really good bits and bobs in it. It's quite
lovely.
good, but it's very visual. It's because it's a white handkerchief, and then you can see it go around. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, so you did that, and then you've been gigging around the country.
Well, ever since then, yeah.
And where's your favourite place to gig in the country?
I really like Excess Malarkey in Manchester.
Mm-hmm.
We show you
your home stomping ground,
it's just such a lovely club. Yeah, it's a lovely club with a warm crowd. Really receptive. The Comedy Store in Manchester, I really enjoyed that. Doing the family shows there. Glee Birmingham, I'm there tomorrow.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that this has really elevated your profile an awful lot of you since you went on the Britain's Got Talent? Have you gone, right, here we go, this is it, and you were already playing those venues?
I was already playing those venues, the family shows, yeah.
Yeah, great.
The Britain's Got Talent thing though, watching previous contestants that have been on it, a lot of them, they're still on the circuit, let's face it, but it may raise them from doing an opening spot to a closing spot, they put another zero on their corporate fees or whatever, so that might just be the sum total of it. It's not instant worldwide fame, is it? Britain's Got Talent.
Just like any little leg up is nice, isn't it? That's it. Don't need any bit of credit on the old CV. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
When you first started, you modelled yourself comedy wise on like Bird Manning and that kind of time when you punching down.
Well, I didn't model myself.
Right, sorry.
I did.
Look at that. So you modelled yourself.
It was just humour at that time. Was punching down. Target minority people were targets, and anyone different, they were targets. They were butts of jokes, weren't they? But I mean, they still are, aren't they? In some clubs, like not on the comedy circuit we play, really. But, but it's just the butt of the joke. Is usually yourself now, isn't it? Like,
that's right. Yeah,
or people higher, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, have you done like the Fringes as well, or have you done like any of those?
Do you know, I've done. I've never done Edinburgh Fringe, and I don't know why, but I've never done it. One of the big reasons is economically, I make most of my living in August.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, doing festival stuff. Like music festival gigs, and so going to Edinburgh, it would be good for my profile, but it wouldn't be good for my mortgage repayments.
Yeah, financially bad. Yeah, that's it. I think it's financially bad for everyone who goes up, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been on the last few years, and I'm just like, I'm not going this year because I'm like, you know what? I've been the happiest I've been. I'm like, oh, looks like I'm gonna have a little bit more money this year. Done any of the other festivals?
Yeah, I did Leicester this year.
I saw you up there. That's right, isn't it? I saw you up.
That's
doing
right.
Manhattan 34, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
nice
great
room,
fun.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Room.
That you talk about places to play. That downstairs at the Manhattan 34. That's a pretty good room, isn't it?
It feels nice. I love it when the comedy clubs the venues downstairs underground. It just feels right, seedy and just sort of where it should be.
Yeah,
that's it. They can't escape without
Well, I was reading the other day about the ideal comedy scenario is dark room, well lit stage, audience in darkness. Everyone facing the front. Maybe some bistro tables at the front. Nice light, nice sound, low ceiling.
Yeah.
And anything other than that is a struggle, really. When you think of, well, not a struggle, but and that's the perfect comedy environment. And if it isn't that, it's harder work than that. If you know what I mean.
They feel more connected, don't they?
Feel more connected. Sorry, I was saying.
You've done Leicester, and you just been playing the circuit and just honing your craft for 9 years.
But also, I've done some different gigs as well. I got booked for a run of holiday park gigs. I did those. I did about 9 of those.
Which company were for?
Oh, I can't say.
Oh, you can,
I can't say.
Oh, it went well though. I'm sure they liked you.
Well, I've never worked there since.
Oh no.
No, it was okay, but
yeah.
You get there. Oh, you're on at 10 o'clock. We want your adult material. You get there, it's 10 o'clock, there's 300 kids sat down at the front of the stage, This is 2-year-olds, while the parents are getting pissed up at the bar and all that.
And you're supposed to do adult material, huh?
Well, yeah, and then get other times, there's all the old ladies shouting, get the bingo on, and
oh no.
That sort of thing.
Heckled by old ladies, heckled by bingo.
Yeah. It's a strange environment, really is a strange environment, but one that I think comedy is being able to play different rooms, really, isn't it,
Totally.
Different shape rooms, different demographics, and I think it's a good apprenticeship playing a few of those.
Yeah,
I think it was Jess Foster's Q was on about she did a show about playing cruise ships.
Right, yeah.
Isn't she? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think it's like you've got to try and work that muscle.
Just at a show.
She did an Edinburgh show about it.
Show about it. Right, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Silence of the Nans, that's what it was called.
Okay, cool.
Because she turned up on this cruise ship and it's all like, the Blue Rinse Brigade.
Yeah.
She's got material about, I don't know what it was, urban London life sort of thing.
Her current life, and then
her current lifestyle,
totally unrelatable to them, right?
Yeah,
wow.
she's got an Edinburgh show out of it.
Oh, that's great. So you get heckled with bingo, and you're getting heckled by the kids going, give us a trick, do another trick. Yeah. Wow. So, and did you have 9 nights consecutively?
Yeah, it was a 9-night tour of the country. From all the way from Morecambe down to South Wales. Listen, it went perfectly fine, but perfectly fine isn't good enough, is it? Do you know what I mean?
True. You want to blow the doors off, don't you?
Well, for my own satisfaction, there's nothing worse than leaving a gig saying, "Oh, that was mediocre." Like, yeah,
totally.
You sort of find out what your audiences are, don't you? Through doing all these different rooms up and down the country, and you sort of get to find out what you're best at.
Yeah. Find your own level, sort of thing.
Find your own level. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
You need about 3 sets, don't you? You need like a good 20 minutes of one-liners, 20 minutes of like more blue stuff, and then something that's just in the middle, maybe clean but kind of on the edge of mixture. Everything. Yeah. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, you need everything, don't you? That's what you
do. Yeah. Like, so many things up your sleeve, like
That's it.
But I tell you what's been funny though is my kids' show has got filthy over the years. Well, it's just that I did a biker gig about 2 weeks ago, up in Cheshire. It was supposed to be a kids' show, but there was 5 kids in the audience and about 150 bikers.
Great. Yeah.
So what can you do?
Yeah, true.
So I ended up doing some kids' magic, but it was so laden with entendres and filth and. Obviously the kids went.
That's great. That's great. Yeah.
So you sort of the kids are happy with it because of the magic, and then all the bikers are with it because of all the rude stuff. Like to be honest, they do that in Panto all the time, don't they?
Very true.
It's nothing new, is it?
Like that's it. My wife and I and our daughter went to go see Harry Hill.
Oh, okay,
and we went to see him. Like it was November last year, and I wanted to see him for years, like to see him live and see what he's like. And he was great. And he was the first 20 minutes just a dynamo of energy and just fun. We were so into it. It was so fun. Lots of stuff for the adults and then some stuff for the kids. It was great. But that's it. It just went. It was really just a joy to watch him. 10 kids he wanted, right?
Yeah.
25 got up there.
Right,
He couldn't really turn them away either.
And these are kids.
Yeah, these are like about maybe like 9. I think 9, 10 at maximum. But like from the age of about maybe 5 upwards. But the place was filled with. It was a Wimbledon theatre,
right? And
the place was filled with like so many different age groups. He like such a mixed demographic, and of course the parents there to see him from all the You've Been Framed stuff and all his comedy as well. But yeah, it was great. Really, lovely stuff though. But that's the thing when you're playing those rooms, you just gotta try and you gotta have something for everyone, haven't you? That's it, and hopefully some stuff that's just you're trying to connect with as many people as possible in that moment.
Yeah.
And so, what was your the first trick that you thought on stage that really worked the most, like with comedy?
For doing adult comedy, I ditched the tricks. I absolutely ditched. There's no magic in the act. Well, very little. There's one bit I do now, whereas I give someone a book and I miraculously tell them what the word is on a certain page. But other than that, there's not really much magic in the act, because it's through trial and error, playing in clubs, comedy clubs in particular, that magic. No one wants to see a magician, some smug bastard on stage. I'm brilliant. They want to see a loser.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You want to be the butt of the joke every time.
Yeah.
You just do straight comedy.
I do comedy based around magic, really. Right. But to be honest, I think props have come into my act a lot more as well. Yeah. I have a big problem with sweating.
Right.
On the stage, probably like Lee Evans, he's just like
ball of water,
sweat.
He needs a towel and everything. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, I'm like that. Waiting, thinking about it. I've written loads of jokes about things I use to wipe up the sweat. Right. And, that's a big part of the act these days. Cool. And then the spoofs, spoof magic, a lot of wordplay stuff. My disappear joke. So it was a minute. Of the act while people try and work it out, sort of thing. I do magic, and I do get paid to do walk around magic at events, family sort of friendly events, that sort
weddings
of thing.
And things, and
well, not so much weddings, but like music festivals, that sort of done Camp Festival and Splendour, those sorts of festivals, like the sort of B tier festivals, family festivals. Yeah.
And what's the like Splendour? Is that like the
Nottingham? Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Sponsored by that, yeah.
Oh, that's good, right? That's a corporate, right? That's a good corporate, is it not? That's what it's called, though, Splendor. It's the same name, just randomly.
The Splendour Festival, yeah. Yeah, they got some good names on that, yeah.
Oh, right. No, but like the name of the company, it's not sponsored.
No, it's not the saccharine.
Yeah, that's
company,
it.
Like, no.
Right.
Sugar substitute, yeah.
Because and you do corporates then as well?
Yeah, corporates I do, yeah.
I did Paper Factory once. That was.
Did you rip it? No, never mind.
I did. Nice. I got through it. And so, what's any particular company you've played corporate wise that you was like, oh my god, really?
Well, I played a corporate in Brighton a few years back with absolutely no one listening whatsoever.
But what was it? Don't know the name of the company. But what did they make?
I think it was judging by the audience, it was like PR people, that sort of thing, like
Okay.
Creative PR people. And there was another band, the Cuban Brothers.
Right.
They were pretty famous though, and they was on as well, and no one listened to them either. And it was like decent money as well, but it was just playing to absolutely no one, it's just into fresh air. So,
into the abyss, like the night.
Into the abyss. Yeah.
It's like you're just sort of like you're just the interlude, aren't you? Where you're just stopping them from networking, I guess, for the PR people, I guess.
Well, it wasn't even an interlude because they didn't stop talking and drinking.
No. It's like background music, isn't it? But I mean, the great thing is about your because you talk that you've got some sort of comedy related material. Is it? That it's totally different to what everyone else is doing, isn't it? Really,
comedy based on magic.
Based on magic, right? So it makes you very different and original to every other act. Yeah.
I usually find myself. I started off in the middle spots. It's a difficult thing to open with. It's trying to find a good place for me on a bill. Really, it's quite hard sometimes for promoters, like, you know. But
that opening spot is a hard one. It's got to be full of energy
anyway as well.
Yeah, that's you got to just be the icebreaker, haven't you? So, even though the MC's done great, you got to be getting them into like just thinking and create a bit of energy, make trust the night.
To be honest, I work better in the middle. You know, of two straight comedians or straight stand-up sets. Yeah. That's the perfect place for me. But unfortunately, I can't make a living in that spot,
that's
it. Unless they're middle set. So I'm either, I'm closing quite a lot lately.
Right.
So, but you've got to do a different approach. But I do love playing in the middle spot. I think you can sort of be a bit more imaginative and creative, and
it's a sweet spot, isn't it?
It is such a sweet spot. Yeah. Whereas when you're closing, people want guaranteed laughs. You've got to do your old favourites at work every time in any room, like,
Yeah.
But I mean, I enjoy that.
That's also another sweet spot, though. The prestige of that. As soon as people go, this is the headliner. People might have not been paying attention for the whole night, and they go, but you've still got to do the job.
Yeah.
There's that extra respect and sort of admiration that they get when they know you're the headliner.
Yeah, I suppose so. They're a bit primed, aren't they?
You've got 5 minutes, haven't you?
You've got 5 minutes rather than 5 seconds.
Totally. It's like they always say, it's like 7 seconds before they judge you, isn't it? Sometimes they do it in 3. They go, right, and then you work them back in. That's like, okay, no, you didn't think this was going to happen, but yeah. So have you played outside the country as well? Have you played in internationally as well?
Yeah, I gigged in Switzerland last year. That was good fun. I gigged in Guernsey. Yeah, last year. That was good fun. Yeah, those sorts of jobs are starting to trickle through. I must admit, one in Switzerland was it was good fun, but it was hard work because a lot of my act is wordplay, and English, Switzerland. For some people, it was their 5th language.
Wow.
When you've got Italian, Swiss, French, Swiss, German, Swiss, and English or whatever,
That's a delay, isn't it?
Yeah.
They think, okay, all right. Okay.
Yeah. So,
great.
That was a challenge. Yeah, well, hopefully, if Britain's Got Talent, those.
Yeah, give you a bit more of those for sure, man. You got some to put on the poster, haven't you? You got some nice pictures from Britain's Got Talent, did you? Promo and everything. That's it. Bang that on the website.
It's great. There's been some great feedback, promotion.
Yeah, just make the most.
That's great.
You just ride that wave, man. Just ride it as hard as you can, Jason. And
Absolutely. Yeah.
Got over an hour at least, have you, at this stage?
What, of material? Yeah. If you count it all up, I could do about 2.5 hours on stage.
Yeah, wow.
But maybe 20 minutes of that's funny.
Yeah, just like lots of more facial expressions.
Yeah,
that's another the half an hour mime show at the end.
Yeah.
Who have you modelled yourself on? Like, did you kind of go when you say the people punching down, but you like to say Eddie Murphy?
That's who I grew up listening to.
Okay, yeah. Who would you think to yourself that you kind of go, oh man, they're so amazing as a comedian, or as a comedy magician? You go. Who would you go? Oh, that's the kind of person I like.
Well, I mean, to be honest, out of the current crop of comedians, I'm a big fan of Alex Lowe. He does Barry from Watford and Clinton Baptiste. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's certainly my level of humour. I really connect with smut. Mm-hmm. Silliness, smut. Jim Owen.
Oh, love Jim Owen.
Yeah,
one of my favourites. Every time I go to the Fringe in Edinburgh, I always go see him because he's got everything. Facial expressions down, the sort of physicality down, the material and the time he has on stage. He's like a comedy pixie.
Yeah.
So he just every little bit, time seems to become elastic when he's on stage, and I'm like, he is amazing.
Yeah.
I go see him because I think he does everything to the nth degree, and you can learn so much from that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like he's on stage for 2 minutes before he even says anything.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
I know. That's it. It's such a beautiful thing to watch. Like you know, but he's massive, isn't he? He's massive in Australia.
Yeah.
And like we'd love you to have that sort of bargaining chip with the audience. Go, well, no, I'm going to do something funny in a minute. I'm going to take my time to get to it. You know, rather than every other booker be like, well, he wasn't funny for the first 2 minutes. You know, that's it. There was no laughter there. You know, that's the thing, isn't it? But
it's just like an example of having funny bones.
Totally,
isn't it? Like Tommy Cooper, really. You know, he's another guy. Well, I think I watched a clip on YouTube. He was doing some variety club speech. It was a good minute and a half before he even said a word, and people are falling off the chairs. You know,
that's it.
All he's doing is looking around.
It's like Paul Foot does that as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a quite acquired taste, isn't he, Paul Foot? Like, I think I've seen Paul Foot do really well and really badly. Like
yeah. That's it. There's never a middle ground for certain acts, is there?
Yeah.
Do you act as well?
I do, yes. I started my own business in 2006. I got a redundancy package from a local authority. I was shifting their youth services to someone else. So I got a sum of money. It wasn't a great sum, but it was enough to mean that I didn't have to work for 3 months. So I set up my own business. We supply, we still do it occasionally. We supply creative people to schools for youth programs and colleges, that sort of thing. And during that time, I needed cash badly because the business, you know, it took years to start off. So I did extra work for a long time. Yeah, for about 6 years doing extra work. I know you had a guest on, Chris Norton Walker. Yeah, he's another guy that did that, didn't he? I got good at extra work. I got asked to do a few, because I had a specific look at the time. I got asked to do sort of feature parts, you know. There was a glut of British gangster films. You know, Danny Dyer and Tamer Hassan and, you know, Snatch, Guy Ritchie, all those guys. And honestly, I was working on gangster films most weeks.
Great.
Third Henchman, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah, then I got some adverts. I got John Bishop's Britain's show.
Brilliant.
So I was a sketch actor for 2 series of that.
What were you in the sketches?
I was all sorts. I played his dad. I played an England football thug. There's a theme emerging here. I played pantomime dame. Well, the premise was John Bishop's would say, do some stand-up. They'd try and film sketches based over that stand-up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think there's a programme on now, isn't it? Is it the stand-up sketch show? That's it. Yeah.
Like you know, talking about the Frog and Bucket years ago. You know the Preston one.
Oh right. Yeah.
Before it closed down, I think I played the last gig before it closed down. You had Danny Nightingale was MCing, cracking MC. I mean,
amazing,
so good. And that was when I was first started. I was like, man, this guy's incredible. Like he's like a glacier. He just didn't stop. You know, just kept moving forward. Even though the audience was really cold, he just kept on. Just, you're coming with me, no matter what happens. I'm going. And he was just so good. It was the Gong Show night, and I also had the Frog and Bucket in Manchester that week, and John Bishop came down to do a spot.
Oh wow!
He went on in the middle, and I was like, you know, this is a Gong Show with people who are just barely started. He did his spot in the middle anyway, and everyone was like, you know, around him like moths to a flame, and I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to learn anything by talking to him now, or anything like that. But then he did a bit of material, right? He was working out some material, and I was so naive. I was like, oh, John, why don't you do this thing about this thing? And in fairness to him, he was so gracious. He looked at me. I was only going like 2 years. This is a few years ago now, and he looked at me and went, thanks. Yeah. So nice of him to do that, because he could just go, look, mate, just fuck off. You know, you're out. But he was so gracious and just so nice. And then said goodbye to me on the way out, even though I could have just been, I was being the right dick, you know. I was like, just going, well, you know, there's me, no experience whatsoever, teaching this guy who's been doing God knows 20 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But he was just the thing I love about John Bishop is he's an enigma, isn't he? He's like the Liverpudlian Kevin Bacon,
right?
Isn't he? He's got big teeth and good-looking guys.
Yeah,
just a big mane of hair. He just walks on stage. Oh, yeah, they're all like, even when he walked on stage in the Frog and Bucket in Preston, they were like, "We love you, John." I'm like, amazing, you know. Right. He's just like a rock star, you know. I
was gigging with Milton Jones the other night.
Oh yes, I saw that.
Yeah, it was great. But he had that same thing about, you know, he'd walked on stage and there's electricity in the room when there's a star in the room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I suppose it's the same with John Bishop, wasn't it? You know, there's a different vibe, isn't there, when there's a star comes into the room, you know?
Absolutely. They just like, wow, we're in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and to be honest, they don't have to do much, do they?
No, that's
once you.
I agree with you. I know you say.
Once they establish that they're a star, they can be crap.
Yeah, but on TV, oh, okay, well, this guy, it doesn't matter. We've seen this guy that's been on TV in the flesh.
Yeah,
and they can just they can coast a little bit. I'm not saying they do, but they can easily. That I guess it's hard, isn't it? To kind of go when you know someone and they're friends of yours, or like you feel that they're friends of yours. You don't want to tell them no. You want to go, yes, of course, yes, you're great, yes, of course. Rather than when you kind of only don't know them, no, it's like no, you can just refuse. You can just cut them off if you like. You know, it's that you're surrounded by yes audiences, or
that's right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that they are, but I'm just it can be so hard to find a really good bit of material that works because they're laughing because you've got all this back catalogue of bank of goodwill, if you like, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
You're drawing from the bank of goodwill at that stage. That must be tough, eh? You only notice when your audiences start to dwindle, right? That's what it is. You go, oh man, this is the thing.
That's the only indicator, isn't it? Yeah.
I need someone that doesn't know me to look at my material, and I guess that's what's handy about having wives, isn't it? Critical.
I don't know. Do you try out material on your wife?
No. So.
I don't trust my partner. Well, I love her dearly, of course. Before I did Britain's Got Talent, I said to my partner Alison, I said, I've got this great joke. I said, I'm going to walk onto stage at Britain's Got Talent. I say, well, last year's winner was Lost Voice Guy. This year it's going to be Lost Hair Guy. and she was in hysterics. And I thought, oh, that's a great joke. So I went to do that at the audition, tumbleweeds.
Oh no.
You know? And she thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever said. From that point I said, no, not listening to you again. Cause I very rarely tell her anything about work, try jokes on her, but I just did that once and she loved it, and no, that's it now.
Yeah. She's a bad indicator.
She's a bad indicator. Do the opposite of what she says. Yeah,
that's it. Well, that's interesting because my wife's the opposite. She's like, it's terrible. I think she's just making me try harder. That's what I think. She's like, no, I think this one. And she'd be like, no, that's awful.
Well, see, this is. I mean, you're a sort of conversational style comic, aren't you? Really.
Yeah.
And I meet with another joke writer, and I being a prop act, it's very difficult for me to explain. Like, well, I get this prop out and I say da 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 da. And it must be the same for sort of conversational comics as well. That how do you discuss material? And
for now, I just kind of talk it out. I just kind of go, okay, because you have a sixth sense of what's funny. Whatever I find funny in that moment of that conversation, because to be fair, my stuff is becoming shorter. It was a lot more elaborate before. Now it's becoming more condensed, and it's nearly one-liner. Is it? It's getting close.
That's the last time I've seen it. That's been.
That was in Lee Bryant's gig, wasn't it? Down at.
That must have been 5 years
and that
ago.
that was very conversational then.
Yeah.
And now it's like it's becoming more condensed and just refined, really.
Right.
That was a while ago, so it's just now it's a bit more punchy. When I first started, I had a lot of just non-sectors and one-liners, and then I was like, oh no, let's make it longer. It's like because you want more time. And you're like, no, I'm just diluting the formula.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, okay, let's just because I went to see Dylan Moran a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
And what I love about his stuff is like all of the setup is hilarious and funny, and then the punchline. It's not even. He doesn't even have to get to the punchline. He could just stop that thought there, and we would have been happy with that because it was so well just written. It's like basically it's one-liner joins to another one-liner joins to another one-liner like this, rather than just like, okay, here's the setup, here's the joke at the end, because otherwise it takes too long to get to that. And I think my problem is sometimes when I first started, I had a problem getting to the point. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But he gets to the point with like consecutive jokes that really are just so well thought out, and I love it. It was one of the best shows apart from Joe, and they were on a par for two different things at different skill levels. But you got kids though.
Yeah.
Do you test the stuff out on your kids?
I do. To be honest, I work my comedy muscle around the dinner table.
Yeah, great.
How was your day at school? I did geography. I said geography. Did you find the classroom all right?
Nice.
That's that stupid thing. But just try, and they know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get that muscle working because I've got a gig tonight. So I tried that on them. To be honest, they used to come to festivals. I do an awful lot of festivals, you know, and we'd camp for the weekend, and they'd see me swearing on stage and all that, and you know, I've never really enjoyed that aspect. You know, the kids watching you swear on stage, like, you know.
It doesn't have an effect when you have it at home. Then it's like, look, you've seen it now. Like you're just not doing as you're fucking told.
Yeah. No, yeah, they're a bit older now, and I don't know. They must think it's all a bit weird, you know, Dad being a comedian. Like they must think it's a bit. To be honest, they've had some kudos out of it, like, you know, but it must be weird, you know. You can't really discuss your jokes with them, can you? Like, you know, you're talking about boners and stuff like that. And I've got all this great material about, you know, this wordplay on vaginas, like, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever,
like this. Well, you got a son and daughter, haven't you?
Yeah.
And you can't really do that, can you? It's not really. You don't feel right doing it.
It doesn't feel right.
I'm a bad parent. I try some material out with my daughter.
Oh,
and I know that if she laughs, this is going to work. I get carried away. I do a bit of improv, you know, and I get carried away sometimes with the stuff. You don't know what's going to come out of your mouth next.
Yeah.
And that can be very. I can be careful.
Myself.
You got to be careful in it. You got to be very careful. But have you done improv as well? You do any of that?
No, to be honest, that's if I was to look at the next 5 years of my career, then I need to be more in the moment on stage. You know, I was saying before, like it's an internal monologue, my act. Like, you know, it's all pre-written jokes, but I'd like to do more improv. You know.
And so you were saying you got the feature with John Bishop and the sketches and stuff. Was that your favourite thing you did with the acting, or?
Do you know, I've had all sorts. I had Roy Chubby Brown's biggest fan. I played him in a Christmas advert for Asda. That was probably my biggest payday, because that's always the upshoot of doing the ads and stuff like that. Yeah, but to be honest, I'm a bit part actor, really. I did Batman. That was good. That was good fun. Yeah.
What were you in Batman?
I was a prisoner. Say, there's a theme emerging. I was a prisoner on a boat on Batman, the one where they sink the. They had to make a decision about whether to sink the boat or the women and children.
In the bar, yes, there's those two bombs on either one.
That's it. Yeah. It's a famous conundrum or something.
Yeah, that was in The Dark Knight, wasn't it?
The Dark Knight. That's it.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But you were the prisoner in the boat.
Well, I was a prisoner in the boat, and along with another 250 prisoners.
Yeah.
All bald heads and.
But still,
you know,
as seen in Batman, as seen in The Dark Knight.
If you watch it and find me, then you've done.
Mate, I'll send you the clip if I can find it.
It's like Where's Wally? You know, because everyone's either bald in orange uniforms, like, you know, trying to pick me out is.
All right, I'll have a look, man. Don't worry, I was in the Tudors.
Was you?
For like the second season or something like that. I'm in the opening credits of the Tudors, and I'm dressed as a page.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, that's it. And this is 2008, I think it was. Yeah.
Right.
And the weird thing was, before I did that, I did a course, a multimedia course.
Yeah.
And I was hitching out to this course, and I got a lift with this guy who looked after Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, the guy that was the main guy. And I did an interview with him, but I was terrified at the time. I had no confidence at all. But I did manage to ask him to do an interview. He said, yeah. So, and a few years later, I was in the Tudors. And of course, there's me, like, so just expecting him to recognise me. I'm like, hey, Johnny. And I was like, no, I didn't. But I should have said so. I was like, hey, how you doing, Johnny? It's good to see you again. But I was like, I didn't have the confidence then either. I was just in my head paranoid and going, oh, no, I didn't say, okay, I'll let it go.
Yeah.
You know, it's silly, isn't it?
But you sort of get weirded out, don't you, when you're on set. And then I did Robin Hood with Russell Crowe.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. And it was a night shoot in Farnham. I was some guard or other, like, you know, with a chainmail on, but it was actually made of plastic, like.
Right.
Oh, it was the most boring night I've ever had in my life.
No.
Well, we waited in a marquee. There was about 30 of us, and they said, right, wait in the marquee until we start filming. And this was at 5 o'clock in the evening. Said wait in the marquee. I think this camera started rolling about 3 in the morning. So we just basically stood around all day. I think that's what you get paid to do, don't it?
Yeah.
But then Russell Crowe comes over to us, right, with his co-star Kevin something. He was in Lost. Right? He comes over to us. He said, guys, I know you've been waiting here all night, but we've got a little treat for you. I'm going to get my acoustic out and sing you some songs.
Whoa. So you were serenaded by Russell Crowe?
He was fucking awful, mate.
Oh, no. No. Oh no.
But he was the executive producer of the film.
Yeah.
He's a guy signing the checks.
You were clapping
So
after
you
every
can
song.
imagine, like, oh.
Oh no, that is terrible, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
like watching your boss do comedy, isn't it?
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
the worst. That is the worst. You're laughing at every joke. Oh no. That was terrible. Standing ovation. Everyone's get the roses out. Come on, you'll be needing these. Did you get chatting to John Bishop or anything like that? Or
No, I never met John Bishop. I never met him because I was doing the sketches for his show, which was putting visuals over his stand-up. So there was actually no need to meet him whatsoever, you know. I'm hoping to catch up with him on the circuit one day, you know, and say to him, hey, John, it was me in your sketches, like, because it was, you know, there's some great, you know, there's some funny stuff on that show.
you can go, I'm your dad.
Yeah, I'm your dad. I'm the pantomime dame. Yeah. So hopefully I'll go and confront him one day with that, like, you know.
Nice.
But yeah, I mean, I've got lots of stories about, you know, meeting big stars on stage. But to be honest, they're all. It's just a bit needy, isn't it? You know, doing it for that reason. The reason I did extra work is because money. Do you know what I mean? And adverts. I did it for money. I don't particularly like Chubby Brown's work. But I did that for money.
Got to be, yeah.
Get it paid for 2 Christmases or whatever, like, you know.
Great.
So I had to do it.
Yeah.
You know, once you get to my age, I had to ditch your scruples, don't you?
Take anything you
Pay
get,
the bills, like, yeah.
That's it.
But I certainly don't parade around, you know, trying to live off. You know, I've worked with. Because there are a lot of people on set that like that. You know, you say, hey, you know, who are you? And oh yeah, I've just done this film with.
Russell Crowe.
Like I've said. I'm Hathaway. Yeah.
I'm interested. I mean, it's interesting to know because you get to. As you say, there's some of those extra things. There's a lot of people that are really cliquey within the.
Within that game.
Within that game, like going, oh, what have you done? I was like, well, I was an elbow in this thing. Oh, well, I was an elbow in this other thing. It's like, okay, great. Well, you know, they get very pretentious about it, don't they?
Yeah,
you know, It's hard to. Sometimes it's hard. You just felt ostracized being, even though you're not in the group. You're like this separate. It's always a system, isn't it? It's always a system in place to kind of like, you know, make you feel lesser than whatever.
Yeah.
But, oh, you with this one? No, not with that agency. Oh, you with that agency? Oh, well, you know, blah blah blah. It's like school again, isn't it? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
to be honest, I'm not proud of that work though. I'm not. You know, I'm not really proud of. I'm proud of some of the acting I did, some of the feature parts I did. You know.
Which one's your favourite?
I did a good photographic one for Cadbury's.
Oh, nice.
Oh, do you know what? I played a bouncer for Mazda cars, alongside a guy out the Gladiators called Rhino.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The guy with no neck at all. I know who you mean.
Yeah.
He was always on the was it foreign footballs or something on that. You know that big square
thing?
He was always like on the I used to love Gladiators. Man.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
It's a shame when I guess the drug testing and the steroids weren't allowed to be in Gladiators anymore because it just lost all the joy, didn't it? It was like, oh, okay, well these people's heads aren't going to explode at any minute.
Yeah,
you know, from all the roids and all. It was just like, I mean, you just look at these guys. Like, I could spend 6 months in the gym and look like this guy, you know. But with the guys with the roids, you're like, I couldn't possibly do that, you know? No. That's what you want to see. It's like that's why Arnold Schwarzenegger is so successful because they're like, okay, well, this guy has gone to the very limit of human ability and drug overdose to get himself to that point. You know,
well, Arnie?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he said, he did start.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
But say because we've got steroids, yeah, of course, that was it.
Right. So I did that advert with Rhino. Yeah, that was probably. Well, it was just like when the director says, you know, here's a few words and because it was a comedy role as well, sort of comedy bouncer, you know.
Yeah. Where's Rhino from? Is he English fella?
I think he's from Yorkshire.
Is he? All right. Did you have a chat with him or?
Yeah, you know, it's professional chat. You know, it's like you do with comics sometimes. You get into a green room and travel far. You know.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, usual sort. You'll click, press tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you always it's always usually gossip about something that has happened that week on the comedy scene, isn't it? You know,
any horrendous stuff happened to you? What's the good stuff? Any fun gigs? That's
who owes you money? You know,
goss, yeah. You must have played jongleurs then, have you, in the last few years?
No, I played. I did a middle spot in Portsmouth. I still shudder about it. That was about 7 years ago. That's as near as I got to jongleurs, really. I thankfully I've avoided the scandals of the comedy circuit. You know, people owing the money and you know, touch wood.
So what's the plan for the next? You know, do you set goals or anything like that, or?
Well, I always get satisfaction in playing clubs that I haven't played for before, or playing for promoters that are respected on the circuit. So it's nice to get an email to say, "Oh, could you come and do this club or that club?" Clubs you want to play. As a comedian.
Yeah.
So I'm still ploughing through those really. I think sometimes I've been given a lot of opportunities that I haven't taken. That are fluffed. They always hurt the most, don't they?
Yeah.
When such and such a producer was in the audience that had come to see your act, or such a promoter had come, someone that promotes nationwide, big gigs, TV stuff, and you've not done so well, sort of thing, So I'm just trying to just keep ploughing on, really. If a lucky break comes along, then a break comes along, and I just want to be working. That's all you want to do. Yeah. Keep working.
Keep the as long as the phone calls, the emails keep coming in to book you for more gigs.
Yeah, I've been doing a bit of writing as well. I've had a little break on TV, doing some writing.
Oh, great!
But I can't say much about that because that was for another comic, who's really busy and didn't have time to write stuff. So I got asked to do. Yeah, to
pay some more bills as well. And And so do you write? Are you writing any shows or anything, sitcoms or anything like that, or?
No, I think I'm just a joke writer really, and that's what I'm concentrating on. I'm 49 this year. I think I've got around about 10 years left on the circuit.
Right.
Realistically, before I'll need a driver.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's the hours in it. The hours behind the wheel. It's tough. Lorry driver hours sometimes.
And when you're closing gigs as well, it gets even worse.
Diversions as well.
Diversions, yeah. So I mean, it's not uncommon for me to get in at 4:30, 5:30, 6:30 in the morning. And
it's a killer.
It is a killer, yeah. Touch wood. But I should have a plan. What do you think? What have you got a plan?
I've got a plan. The plan I've got? I'm writing a sitcom. Just keep my mind working on doing different things for me to kind of keep testing my ability of comedy. Writing jokes. Don't have a problem writing jokes. It's just I want to see what else my comedy brain can concoct or imagine, because it all comes up together. That works for that, and then there's another thing. So it all creates some momentum going for me to inspire myself to write more. Or better material. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Just constantly generating something. Using the muscle.
Yeah,
but it's
there seems to be a template though, doesn't there, for success? You bump into some comics and it's quite all laid out before them. I'm working on my show. I'm doing previews and.
Is Edinburgh a thing? Or
yeah.
Yeah, I think Edinburgh is for a certain type of comedian. I think maybe, or a certain type of individual. I mean, maybe that's just a generalization, but I think you need a lot of money really to make Edinburgh work. Unless you have a big management company behind you, then it's not quite as much.
Yeah.
But I think that there may be a template for success. I'm not sure because then I look at people like Greg Davis. I mean, he was a drama teacher before he got into comedy, but he was of an age when he became very successful.
Yeah.
So it's but you don't know how many years he was plugging away before that. So it's okay, what was he writing before? What was the thing that made him break through?
Yeah.
So you I don't know if this is.
Was it We Are Clang?
Was that what it is? Greg Davis was in We Are Clang, was it?
I think so. Yeah.
Is that right?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
So maybe so that was it then, is it? So that was it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, but he was of an age when he broke through in that, was it? How was he when We Are Clang?
Oh, he was in his late 30s, I think.
Was he, right?
Yeah. I think it was the other guy who was with Marek. Yeah, he was another member of We Are Clang as well.
So yeah, it's like these. So you just try and.
Oh, because I know Marek, because that's it. I did a kids show. Sorry, I've Got No Head. Kids sketch show.
Right.
I did 2 seasons of that as well. Yeah.
Oh right, that's great. So you've been on TV a fair bit then already.
Yeah. But the lines never over a line.
Something though, some credit in it. Is a credit? There you go.
It's a credit, yeah.
That's it. You got your spotlight profile down.
Yeah, that's true. I've got an agent. I've got an acting agent though now, and I've got a spotlight profile. That took years to get a spotlight one. I kept applying. They kept saying no, we're not having you. And then I got an agent. I think the agent rang up and said, "Listen, sort it out." Because
who are you with? If I'm asking.
Mike Lee.
Oh right.
MLA. The agency work is just it comes in when it comes in, really.
Just gotta wait, innit?
Yeah, it's just a waiting game.
Just keep plugging away.
Yeah, but I mean, I sort out all my own live work, so Plus, I think with my, I sort of run a business part-time with my missus. You know, we still supply creative people to schools and colleges called reward projects.
And what about that project? Is it like for you're doing hard subjects in like not like legs akimbo? Is it like, you know, not like that? Is it?
Do you know? Yeah, I've had projects like that because my partner's an actress from her background. A school want to do a play about bullying, so my partner and some of her friends were going to that school and help the kids devise a script and workshop it and, you know, perform it, that sort of thing, and I write the invoice.
Great.
That sort of thing, yeah. So we've covered bullying, homelessness, you know. But the only problem these days is no one's got any money, unfortunately, in that sector, you know.
What exciting stuff have you got coming up in the next few weeks or months, or where can we see you? Where can we come see you? Where can we see the great El Baldiniho?
Well, I'm all over the shop, to be honest. That's the only answer in brief. I'm all over the country gigging. And it's summer season, so I get to do festivals, and the focus goes off comedy clubs, and now it's on festivals.
What festivals are you doing this year?
This year I am doing the Cornbury Festival. I'm doing the Mighty Dub Fest. I'm doing the Greenbelt Festival.
Nice.
Which is a Christian festival.
It's a very nice festival, yeah.
I'm doing the Fine Fest in Ulverston. Tons of things like that, really. Yeah.
We can find you online at
www.elbaldinio.co.uk.
Instagram, all those places as well.
Instagram, yeah, Facebook. To be honest, I'm mainly a Facebook person. I get more success on there than I do on Twitter and Instagram. Like, that's where my most known, I suppose, yeah, Facebook, yeah.
El Baldiniho, thanks for coming on the Comedy Defect, and I hope you can surf this wave as long as possible, man. That's it. Much success to you.
Thank you very much, pal. Cheers.
Nice one.
Thank you.
And that was episode 71 with the great El Baldiniho, a.K.A. Jason Mannion. He's a lovely fella, very funny guy. Go and check his show out in the Comedy Store in Manchester. It's a family-friendly show on the 17th of October. Now that's something to look forward to. A light at the end of the tunnel, guys. All I'll say is this, look, I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're having a bit of downtime, enjoying the break from just the relentless day-to-day life. I mean, think of this, right? You're isolated at home. There's probably loads of things you got to do around the place. You got to tidy some stuff up, get rid of some junk, read the books you've got in the corner. There's a stack of them, I'm sure. You know, play those games you didn't get a chance to play. Enjoy your life. Think of the positive. It might turn your life around. You might think, do you know what was I doing? I was doing that job that I hated. Was I doing the thing that I was just doing the same thing every day? It was starting to do my head in. But look, just take the time off. You can go to Tesco's, get yourself some meat, make some burgers, have a barbecue. You can't have the friends around or, you know, your neighbours, but you know what? Have a barbecue with your own family. Have fun with them. Get to know them again. Because we get the day-to-day. We have to go out, go to work, come back, go to bed. It becomes relentless. And that is even more mentally destroying than maybe kind of, you know, being locked into that rat race. Just think of this. Take a bit of time out. Write those fringe shows. Write those sitcoms. Write that idea for a movie. Get it done. Get motivated, man. Just enjoy yourself. Be good to yourself. Don't see it as a negative. Okay, right, there's a few things you got to do. We've got to get some rent. We're all up in the air at the moment with things, trying to get who we're going to get paid from, but that's okay. You know, the government are out giving some stuff, and there's some things happening. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but you know what? Try to stay positive. Try. It's hard, I know, but just kind of try and find something that you can put your energy into that's going to give you something back. Like maybe, you know, go for a jog, go for a walk with a friend, or maybe go pet the neighbour's dog, or do something like that, or maybe even take some stuff round to your neighbour, you know, who's elderly and, you know, who can't get out to the shops because they're in lockdown and they're one of the more vulnerable people. Maybe do that. Do something for someone else if you can't think about yourself and it's making you stressed. All I'll say is this, right? You can follow this podcast on Instagram at Winter Dominus, and you can find my stand-up gig dates, which are on my website, which will probably be in September, October at this stage. But you know what? Let me know. I still run writing groups, and I'll probably be running them over Skype. If you're interested in that, that'll be from Monday night from 7 to 9. But if you're interested in that, let me know. Drop me a line on thecomedydefect@gmail.com. That's what I'm going to say for this outro. Hope you're using this time wisely. Try to stay healthy, mentally, physically. Maybe meditate as well. That might help you out. Helps me a lot as well, especially in these times, especially when I'm really stressed about something. All I'll say is, that was episode 71 with the great El Baldiniho. Follow on Facebook, Twitter, all those places. The next episode is episode 72 with a very funny comedy magician again, actually. I didn't plan this, 2 in a row. Comedy magician and photographer Steve Best. It's a great episode as well. Until the next episode in April, take care, be well, wash your hands every 20 minutes, and just try and relax, guys. Have a good apocalypse.